Hello there, morons. It's Victor. Give me a break, man. Give me a flake, man. The king of the morons and the princess Buttercup. Here I've got the morning off, and I'm babysitting here. Well, JNEWS is back. Yeah, I'm talking to the camera, honey. JNEWS is back, and I've not been able to. I haven't had time. I mean, look at this. This is just one. I got two of them. I haven't had time to do videos on Japanese for morons because I edit those videos. However, this is Give Me a Flake, man. Give me a break, man. And I don't edit these, but I still want to make material for you. I think there's a lot of useful things to learn out there. And every day I come across something and I think, oh, I want to teach this. I want to, spread this out to teach you guys, because I learned something, you learned something, etc. Anyway, yes, but I'm babysitting now. So the only way to make a video is with her on my lap. I hope you'll be okay. She's gonna be more bored than you guys. You could never be as bored. But before I get started, I want to remind you that maggiesensei.com is our language site. It's our blog. It's a language blog, and it's very highly rated. It's got very good views for such a specific niche blog, and it's highly recommended by many people. Check it out, and it's free. So if you'd like to, but it's getting so popular that we're having to pay more and more for the we have expenses, okay? So if you'd like to support us, Maggie Sensei has started a Patreon just for that site, just to help defray some of the costs. It's $1 to $2, and check it out. It's on Patreon. The link will be in the description, and you get early access to a lot of lessons. And she is making lots of lessons. Native Japanese teacher Yukari does it. We also teach at the school in Nagoya here, if you're interested in that. And this year it looks like we're going to be starting our first intensive course in September, 1 month long intensive. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know. Anyway, let's get to today's lesson, which I think is very interesting. As usual, I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and then, hello, honey, pay attention. I'm going to talk about it. I'll tell you what happened. So this I thought was pretty interesting, because here you go. It's about Japanese tests and the testing system in Japan. Nyuu happened recently. Nyuu, or is that right? Nyuu? Nyuu is the entrance exam tests. And I'll give you the kanji there in a minute. The kanji will be in the description, and I'll type it out in a second. Entrance exams. And it's kind of a big deal in Japan. And apparently 550,000 people took it this year. And the big news in Japan is that 4 people cheated. Isn't that like amazing? That's less than 0.001%, maybe even less, 0.0001%. It's a tiny bit, it's a tiny amount of people. Here, play with this. It's a tiny amount of people, but that's what makes news in Japan. The other thing that I thought was really interesting was that they do the listening test by handing people out little recording devices. And that's one reason people were disqualified. And their tests were made mukou. Mukou means invalid, right? Because they cheated, and that's one reason they snuck a listen to the listening section a little early, and they shouldn't have, right? Another thing that was interesting is that in Japan, I think about 11,000 people ended up being late to the tests, and the powers that be decided to accommodate them by giving retests or helping, giving the test a little bit later, making some accommodations so they could take the test. Now, what is this test used for? It used to be used only for public schools, and we'll go into the vocabulary in a minute. But recently, it appears that it's being used for private schools as well. Now, if you want to go to a particular university, you would take an entrance exam to that university. But there is a standardized test called the Seita Shiken, which I guess translates to center test, right? And that's what this is. This is the center test. I should have said that earlier on. This is the center test. So it's a little bit like, I suppose, like if you want to make an equivalent like the American standardized achievement test or the SAT test. So people take the Japanese version of the SAT once a year, and it's always given in the winter time for some reason. Excuse me. And in the winter time, it's cold as hell, and because of that, there are often delays and problems with traffic, or people can't get there. Trains are shut down, snow, whatever. And in this video, they actually have a scene of a police officer delivering or transporting students to the testing site, which is amazing, right? I mean, I'm sure it happens somewhere in America too, but maybe not as often as in Japan, which is pretty cool, I think. Let's look at the test here. Let's look at the video here.
昨日まで2日間行われた大学入試センター試験で
大学, of course, is a college. 入試験 Okay, is that what? Did I get that right?
センター試験で入試センター試験で
入試センター試験入試 entrance center 試験 of course, is test. Okay, and over here you can see the kanji here. It says fusei koui, which means basically cheating. Okay, let's just watch the video a little bit here.
試験終了の後も回答を続けるなどの不正行為があったとして4人の試験結果が無効となりました。
Okay, so after the test was done, they realized that 4 people have done bad things, and 4 people's tests were made invalid. 無効。4人の試験が無効。4 people because of fusei koi, which is basically cheating. Conversationally, we don't say that. Conversationally, we would say cunning suru, right? So this is a hall. I've taken my Japanese language proficiency test in the same type of atmosphere. Notice that they're all they have space in between them, so they can't really cheat. Right? They try to keep space between them, but they're kind of close to the people on the other aisle, which I think is kind of funny.
大学入試センターによりますと、不正行為は試験終了後も回答を続ける。開始前に問題を開いてリス。
Okay, so the kind of cheating that happened was the test is over, but they continue writing. So if you do that, I notice a lot of people do that. If you keep writing after the test is being officially, stopped, but you can continue writing answers, then your test will be made invalid. And other people, they peeked at the questions or listened to the listening section before the test, before they were supposed to.
リスニングの機器を操作する。bundoki を持ち込むの3種。
Oh, and bundoku, which is a protractor. So someone, this is not an English test, of course. This is a all subject test. So someone brought in a protractor, which is I think a bundoku.
種類で東京や京都など合わせて4人が不正とされ試験が無効になりました。
So they mentioned Tokyo and Kyoto, and then they said nado. You might have noticed they said nado, which means etc., which means other cities like Nagoya as well. So in total, 4 people tests were invalidated.
試験が無効になりました。
Let's do it one more time. Hold on.
4人が不正とされ試験が無効になりました。
Go back to Kyoto
など、東京や京都など。
Tokyo ya, Kyoto nado. And notice ya is and. When I learned Japanese, they didn't teach you and. They didn't teach you ya. They taught you to. But it's both. You can say to. But in this case, and that's common in the news. Tokyo ya, Kyoto nado, etc.
合わせて4人が不正とされ。
合わせて together, all together.
試験が無効になりました。今年の試験はおよそ55万人が受験し。
This year, 550,000 people. Man is the counter. Remember, in Japanese, the counter is 10,000. Took the test. 555,000 took the test, and about 11,000 people were late to the test.
雪や事故で交通機関が乱れるなどして、およそ700会場のうち30会場、1万1000人ほどに開始時間を遅らせる措置が取られました。
So sochi means measures, or they did something. A measure, I guess, if you look it up. They took measures to take care of the 11,000 people who were delayed because of snow or accidents. Yuki and jiko. Kotsu jiko, did they say kotsu jiko? Let's go back and listen to that. Yuki, they said, of course, is snow. Hold on.
700会場のうち30会場、1万1000人ほどに開始時間を遅らせる措置が取られました。
Oh, but they didn't say that reason. Now let's go back a little bit.
乱れるなどして、およそ700会場のうち、雪や事故で交通
雪や事故で雪 snow 事故 accidents 雪で
機関が乱れるなどしておよそ
about
会場のうち30会場1万1000人ほどに開始時間を遅らせる措置が取られました。山口県岩国
In Yamaguchi prefecture
市の会場ではトイレの水が
because of the water would not come out of the toilet, 650 people were affected. Eikyou is be affected.
なくなるトラブルがあり、およそ650人に影響しました。
影響しました。affected.
また、大阪吹田市の会場
Actually, if 影響する literally means influence, but in this case, affected.
影響しました。また、大阪吹田市の会場で嘔吐する人がいたにもかかわらず、
In Osaka, apparently someone threw up. And the test takers, this is funny. And I was surprised I could read this kanji. There is furigana on it, but I could read it anyway. There are hints there, but it's one of those weird words that stuck in my head years ago. Otto suru is to throw up. So someone threw up during the test, but despite that, the test taker said, keep taking the test. And at the end of it, they realized you can't do that. There's vomit in here. That's gross. So in total, zentai de 141 people were given they took a retest.
監督者に試験を続けるよう指示された受験生などがいて、全体で合わせて141人が再試験の対象になりました。
再試験. Sai, when you see the word, the prefix sai, the kanji sai, it's a little bit like re. It's exactly like re. It means to do it again. You're becoming antsy. Okay, so that's it. Let's go through the vocabulary very quickly. I got vocabulary for you here that I have prepared. What the hell is the vocabulary? Here we go. Okay, so center shiken. Oh, what the hell's that? Oh no! What is that? Sorry. Okay. Center shiken de fusei koui. 4人の試験を無効. So the center test. Center shiken de at the center test, there have been 4 people doing unfair practices or fusei koui, which is basically cheating. Let me put this in here. You can see better, right? Okay. And then 4人, 4 people, no shiken o mukou, 4 people's tests were invalidated. 4人の試験をmukou. Don't grab it. The baby's trying to grab it. JNEWS is back. Everyone says it looks like Jews, but it's not. So the way we say school in Japanese is gakkou. The way we say cheating is fusei koui. But, and if something is invalidated, it's mukou ni shita, mukou ni suru. The conversational way to say cheating is cunning suru. But if you're going to cheat on taxes or something, that would be datsu suru. And if you're going to cheat on your girlfriend or wife, that would be furin, or your husband, of course. Furin, or your lover. In the video, you'll hear the word bundoki, which is a protractor. And something that's interesting, piece of information here, is that this test was originally used. Come on, honey. Is originally used. Look at the notes. Look at the notes here, honey. What are you doing? This test is originally used for公立大学, which is public universities, but now they're using it apparently for also shiritsu daigaku. But the problem with the word shiritsu daigaku is that if you hear the word shi, it could mean private or it could mean city. And to make sure that people don't misunderstand, when you say I'm going to a private school, you would say watakushiritsu daigaku. Because the first kanji is watashi, but it also means mine or private. So watakushiritsu daigaku means private university, and shiritsu daigaku with the different kanji, which means city. So Nagoya shiritsu daigaku would be Nagoya city. Other words that we heard in the video were eikyou, or effect or influence, and then words that sound similar that I thought would be funny to teach would be otto, which is sound, then otto, which is husband, otto, husband, and then otte sei, which is a fur seal, the kind that Canadians like to club on the heads. Just kidding. No, very few Canadians, just a few, like 10. And then otto, which is vomiting. So there's 3 words for you. Please check the description there, but there they are for you. Right, one more time. We got eikyou, otto, otto sei, outo. And then if you are feeling nauseous, you would say mukamuka. And sai means again. We did that. We talked about that already. So I feel mukamuka suru. Mukamuka suru means I feel like I'm going to throw up. Mukamuka suru. Oops. And sai is again. Okay, that's your video. Thank you for watching this baby destroyed video, but I hope you learned something. Princess Buttercup and I thank you. Can you wave goodbye to the camera? Can you wave goodbye? Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. No? She doesn't know how to do bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, bye.